Masechet Keilim, Perek Vav, Mishnah Aleph, first Mishnah, 6th chapter of Masechet Keilim. We're talking about these idea of pitputim. Pitputim, remember, was a tripod. So the Bartanura, we're going to follow the Bartanura. We're going to see there's a bunch of machlokot about it, but we'll stick with the Bartanura. I'll show you the machlokot in the pictures. How says Losha pitputim ba'aretz? You put these 3 pitputim, raglayim yoshvim ba'aretz. These 3, you made them out of cheres, and you put them in the ground. V'chibran batit. And you connected them with clay, with earthenware. Liot sofeit alem. Sofeit alem means in order to cook on them. Et hakadeirat. Sofeit alem means sfat, from the edge, meaning to place the pot on top of them. Then it's tameh. Then it has the din of a kli cheres, and it's tameh. It's like a kli cheres. So let's look at what the Bartanura says. The Bartanura says, Chibran batit lemala barosham. You connected their heads. Ke'en kli barzel shekarim tripod. Like you made a tripod. Let's look at our posing for a second. Okay, we're not on avanim. Let's go here. Right, you took these 3 pitputim, these 3 things, right, and you connected them at the top to make like a little stove, like a tripod, like we call a tripod. I don't know what you call that, but nowadays when you have camping, you made a little camp stove. Okay, so that's what you did. You put these 3 things in the ground. I guess that was one way. There was a poor man's stove. You put the fire under it. Kavash lo shamas meirim ba'aretz. Liot sofeit alem et hakdera. So let's say you didn't even do that. You took 3 masmeirim, 3 stakes. You stuck them in the ground. They're metal. Okay, you put them in the ground. I assume they're metal, right? Aval pisha asar b'rosho makom shetehei hakdera yoshevet. Even though you put a place on top of them that the kedera, meaning you somehow widen them. So there's a big machloket. How do you widen them? Let's look at what the Bartanura says. Okay, you had a place that the kedera, the pot would sit on it. Torah. Okay, why? He says what you did is like they had masmarim stakes. They weren't wide like our nails at the top. So you widened them. Even if you widen them, nonetheless, it's Torah. Let's go around posing for a second. Here are your 3 stakes. Okay, and you widen them so that the stone would stay on it. Some say, others say, no, that you connected them. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter. Why? Says the Bartanura. You place that the kedera would sit. It's Torah. Why, says the Bartanura? The klei matachot hamechubim lakarka kikarka damu. Because metal kelim that are connected to the ground. If you have a metal stake in the ground, it's like the ground. The only kind of kli that is mikabel tuma and is connected to the ground, as we saw, is a tanur, is an oven made of kli cheres, because it's the Torah says you have to destroy it. Otherwise you don't have to at all. Okay, now the Kahati says you made like you put something. He says the Kahati says on these masmerim you put tit on each one. You put klei cheres. That's what the Kahati says. It's really unclear what you did. Nonetheless, it's still metal connected to the ground, so it's tahor. Next case. Avanim kira. Now you have even cheaper. You take bricks. You put 2 bricks together, you make a kira, you make a stove. V'chibram batit. If you connect them with tit, tme'ah. So it's a bit machloket. What does that mean, chibram batit? Here, so here the shtei avanim kira. That's not a kira. Those are bricks. Those are two rocks. Bartanura says chibram batit means you connected them to each other, and that's a stove. Others say no, you shmai them into the ground. You connected them to the ground. That's also an act of permanence. So the Bartanura is going to stick with. He goes according to his perush the whole time that chibram means you connected them to each other. So therefore, you made 2 stones, and you made a stove out of them, but you connected them with earthenware. Then they're tamei. Then they have a din of kicheres. Rabbi Yehuda mitayer ad she'aseh shlishit. Rabbi Yehuda says no. 2 is not enough. You have to have a 3rd one. O ad she'yismoch lakotel, or it has to be connected to the wall. Says Rabbi Yehuda, you have to have 3 or 3 and a wall, so that it's like leaning on something. Because 2 is not stable enough to be a pot. You see the other position. Like they learn exactly the same in another way. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Achat betit ve'achat shelo betit Torah. So the Bartanura says one achat chiber lechaverta betit. You connected one to the other, but in the 3 and the bashlishit lo chiber. That's what the Bartanura explains, and it's Torah. Okay, so then let's look at Rab Posen for a second. What is achat betit ve'achat shelo? This is the Bartanura. 2 are connected and 1 is not. And then you have all these other positions or opinions. You can stop the video and look about how they held other positions, not like the Bartanura, how you understand it. Because it's weird to say, 1 betit v'shchat below means you connected 2. So the Bartanura is kind of stuck. Because above, he said, ad she'aseh shlishit, right, v'chibram betit. You connect them. It sounds like you have these two stones. You connected them. So then you have to, this achat betit v'achat shelo betit, you have to somehow explain it according to that understanding. We'll stop here, dedicate our learning. So Rabbi, my father, Arav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman, make it a great day. Join the WhatsApp group if you're new.